when I'm puffing on a potent, silent, but I stay strapped. Gave her wood, now she talking about family tree. You know it ain't that. Ain't got time for the bad bees, dog. I got money on mine. Watch my chain too long, have me nervous. I put money on your mind. The Cali be potent, that girl is a bogus. I can't risk my seed. My heart too low, took L's like fug. Big slime soon free. Had to drop cause the fans they keep asking. You drop trash, had the fans all laughing. Disappeared and I
Boom, 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 and boom again, people. So, I hope you're enjoying season 5 so far. There's quite a few things that I did say I was going to do for you guys on season 5 that has been done. You should have seen this stuff by now because I've dropped a lot and whatnot. One thing I did want to do, because I felt like the other day I was watching some of the content, so I was editing some stuff that's due to come, so you'll see that stuff soon. You've probably seen it by the time you've seen this video. And it's almost like I would have confused the viewers, because I showed you my loadout for 2023 December, but my loadout has completely changed now. So I've moved away from having a pistol in each loadout to just having one solid rifle for each loadout. So I kind of wanted to just walk you guys through my setup, just a brief one. I want to try and keep this video hopefully under 40 minutes, because obviously it's 2 guns, so I'm gonna give or take 15 minutes each. But yeah, so let's get into it. So indoors, I wanted to go with something themed, something fun, give almost like a talking point when we're indoors. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? So I ended up bringing back something from the zombie edition, because I went through this process where I was buying bare guns. Like, you've seen bare guns on the channel, right? I bought bare guns, got some sent to me, etc. But I kind of wanted to just go for more the simpler option and like use what I originally had. And one of the guns that I originally had was the G&G Combat Machine 2.0 Raider. And all that essentially, well, I'll show you the gun, but yeah, we'll get to what I've done to it afterwards. So I've kind of finally managed to get some hard cases. I've spoken in so many videos about getting hard cases. I finally have hard cases for all the loadouts, plus a backup one for another loadout I'm currently trying to build. For this one, I've kind of gone for like the Sonic slash Goku vibe, or Dragon Ball Z slash Sonic vibe. So via where I've got my little sticker aesthetic and all of that stuff up top. Let's get to the goodies. I feel like I've done a video in a sec, you know what I'm saying? So what we have here is basically my take on the G&G. I feel like this is what G&G should have given to us. I call this the CM97 custom. I'm gonna start with the basic stuff. We're gonna chuck a battery in it quick. I'm gonna show you around it. Well, I'll show you around it first, then I'll chuck a battery in it. So just because I want it to be cool, and because the gun is like themed, as you can see, around the vibe of like Sonic, I wanted to kind of pay some respects to China, all that Asia heritage of where all these characters come from. So I got some Kit Kat. They were actually pretty good. And I basically done like a mag wrap. So obviously one side I done a little Jamaican thing to support my heritage, done my little @ so on the field if anyone's like, oh, where can I find you, I can just be like, look at the damn mag, take it, add it on Insta and whatnot, or Twitter, or YouTube. It should be good to go. So I kind of went for a simple theme. When it's inside the gun, it does kind of have a cool look. It goes directly with the aesthetic of that like Chinese type theme, if you get what I mean. So yeah, and then even when you have it in the second one, and say I flip the gun around, it just kind of looks cool. Like, I just feel like I've spent a lot of time trying to get a realistic type looking gun, whereas I feel like a lot of the stuff that I enjoy these days is more when I build stuff that is kind of cool like this. So I'm having some malfunctions because this thing I actually need to put, do you know what, let me just do it for the video, because I ran out of electric tape the other day and I actually managed to buy some, but I keep on forgetting to actually attach it. So what I did, I'll show you as I walk the gun around, and later on I will make the actual adjustment. because it actually broke, and in theory I should have done this the other day, but like I said, when I went to do it, the electric tape that I had originally had ran out, so I ended up just going and doing a basic fix and being like, I'll come back to this because the gun actually works. It's like the one most simplest things that need sorting, but we'll show you that a bit later. So just off top, obviously, like you can see, it is the G&G CM16 body, like we discussed. I just feel like it's a nice, beautiful body. It's lightweight. You can kind of maneuver the gun, and once I switched the gearbox, so I'm not going to tell you the gearbox I put in there, but I basically changed it to another version 2 gearbox and changed the spring to a 110. I'm telling you, the thing beats off so beautiful. It shoots a good radius. The barrel isn't the longest barrel, but the performance this damn thing gives out, I'm so happy. It's kind of why I dressed it up, because when I had done the work to it, because obviously I had to change the original gearbox, change the original motor, so I've upgraded those things, just to be clear. I ended up at a place where I was like, the gun shoots really well. Like, I need a gun to look like it shoots really well, or at least look fun enough that like people ask about it, because you know, sometimes you built something so amazing but it looks so realistic that nobody really wants to ask about it because it just looks like the standard gun, if that makes sense. Whereas I wanted a talking point, something that when you meet people on the field, it's something they're like, raw, like what? Like, how did you build that? Like, does it shoot good? And when they actually shoot it, they'll see that it's actually a decent shooting gun. It's a mechanical gearbox, which I would have liked. No, it's a mechanical trigger, which I would have liked an electrical trigger, but because my outdoor loadout has an electrical trigger, I just thought it would be nice to have one of each inside my loadout. It would be nice to have electric trigger gun and a mechanical trigger, and just to over the course of maybe a year or 6 months or so, analyze as a user, like, what do I prefer? Because everybody screams, oh, electric triggers and all these things, but I just feel like sometimes you can't beat the original thing. Like, it just feels nice. Like, it's not as reliable as or responsive as an electric trigger car. I'll show you that when I do the UTR. But one thing I will say, it just feels nice. Like, it just feels like, it's like almost like, you know, sometimes you get like these new electronic cars and people are like, it just doesn't feel the same. I feel like it's the same with airsoft guns. Like, that mechanical trigger, you just can't beat that feeling. There's just a feeling it has that the electric trigger don't have. However, the electric trigger is the better of the two. So I'm gonna show you on the burner quick. I shortened the barrel, so this isn't the original CM16 outer rail. Sorry, it isn't the original outer rail. It's the outer rail from LT35, because I kind of wanted a shorter feeling gun, if you get what I mean. Especially CQB, you want to be able to tuck a corner, and even though my inside barrel is fairly long for a CQB style rifle, it comes up to roughly about here somewhere. It's like, I don't feel like, even when maneuvering with the gun now, it's like I don't feel like it's a very long gun. And the trick to that is just building your stock in a way that you can handle it on its shortest setting without feeling uncomfortable, because there has been some guns, like even the LT35, as great as that stock is, because it does that pull out thing and it's automatic, it's on a spring button thing, it's like, it just, I always end up changing the guns back. If you notice, check through the channel, as much as I've put that on it, the LT35 stocks, I've always gone back to a stock like this, because like I said, as long as it's at its first setting, you really do get a nice tuck underneath the gun, and the gun is accessible, so I can touch the end of my barrel. Like, do you get what I'm saying? I can genuinely touch the end of my barrel and the gun is up against my chest right now. It gives you a feel where, when coming into those close corners where you don't want people to necessarily see the end of your barrel as you come round, it gives you the ability to pull the gun a bit closer. Whereas, because you're on that stock, you can extend the stock that bit much extra, and it gives you the ability to now be in rifle settings and actually have a nice direct aim down sight kind of thing with the barrel quite away from you. Because in this position, I can't necessarily get there. I'm almost getting there, but if you notice, I can't quite touch the end of my barrel. But that's why I like it, because you have the option. It's like, I have the ability to be right here where I can actually extend past the end of my barrel, or I have the ability to play rifle play where it is a bit much further where I can't touch it, kind of thing. So yeah, that's why I went for that shorter look. I changed the stock, so it's got a Daniels Yeah, Daniel's Defense stock, and then I just spray painted it because they didn't sell it in the color that I wanted, because I wanted that little hunter green look. Then I've put a V style front grip. I love them. If you notice, they're on every single gun that I use competitively. So I'm not gonna say too much on it. I also had to paint that because it didn't come in the color that I wanted. What else did I do to this? I added a level at the back, but I think we spoke about that earlier. So much people have so much opinions on this thing on the field, especially my friends, which I love them. I really do love them. And let me chuck this on the top because we'll speak about that as well. I wanted to give the gun like a really cool aesthetic. You don't have to have it on, but that's why it's a quick pop on and pop off thing. Because then if you feel like it's getting in your way, I don't feel like it gets in my way every time I play with it, but I know for some people they would be like, it's annoying. But what else did I do to the gun? I added a flashlight, so that's what Dr. Eggman's out here doing. That's his job. Anytime you click him, the gun will flash like you're seeing right now. I love that function. I just feel like it's cool. You would have seen some of the YouTube videos. If you haven't seen them, go into my shorts and run up the shorts, people, man. Come on, man, we're trying to get a partnership with YouTube. Show the love, show the support, get us up to a subscribership with YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I love the support so far anyway. That's one thing I will say. A lot of people have said to me your channel has grown pretty fast, and I do agree with them. So thank you guys for your support, card. None of this would be possible without you. And to be fair, that's why I do these cool fucking guns, because I just want to basically show you guys that nothing's wrong. Like, yeah, I'm a big 29-year-old man, but I love Airsoft so much that look what I built. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm going into like my child play and building something that's Sonic basis. And if a nigga was to see me on the film and be like, you're so childish, I genuinely wouldn't care, because every other area of my life is an adult life. Like, I go to work, I have my own house. Like, do you gonna get what I'm trying to say? It's like I live a big man's life, but I feel like sometimes it is good to entertain a bit of the child in you. Do you know what I'm saying? And I have children also, and I'd love the ability to share a lot of my childhood how do you want to explain it, like pleasures with them. Like, I love Pokemon, or used to love Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, things like this. It would be something that I would like to share with my son, for example, Airsoft, stuff like that. So, but anyways, before we get in all emotional and that, so yeah, like I said, like that's what Dr. Eggman's job's out here is. It's a bit offset at the moment, but I will sort it out. Like I said, it literally just some electric tape that needs sorting around it, because like I said, it had moved the other day and I just hadn't got round to replacing it. And to be honest, it's still functional. If you see, I have no problems. It stays on and I can do the flash thing. What else did I do to this bad boy? And it is really cool where it sits, because quite a few people who have seen the flashlight, they're like, fucking hell, you've really topped it. So it's like, normally with the flashlight, and I found this myself as well, it's like on other guns it kind of sticks out, like especially if you have it on the top rail or on the side rail, it makes the gun chunky. Whereas I feel like because I've put on the bottom rail and I've tucked the way I've kind of tucked tucked it in, and the kind of mount I've used, it's like it really just does feel comfortable. Like, even me, if I'm not using the V rail and I'm actually holding the front of the gun, I can still, and I'm comfortable. I've got control of the weapon, and even if I'm holding the V grip, it still gives me the ability to kind of hold that and still have the ability to press that with the front finger. So it's kind of where I went for that, because I thought in CQB, as much as I've got my tracer unit, which is lovely, sometimes I'm showing them too much off where I'm positioned. So it is nice to have the ability of distraction and throwing them off with the flash every so often, or running to the other side of the room, flashing, or using the tracer, then running back, flashing them, and then shooting them so I get the kill kind of thing. So it's kind of why I went for that. I didn't go for a scope on this gun because I just felt like, because I just find that I rarely use a scope. I love to free shoot, like take my free shots in terms of, and while we're talking, let me put a battery in. I like to like take a free shot, if you want to call it that. And essentially what I'm saying is, like, I don't like to necessarily look down a scope to take a shot. I would much prefer, well, I won't say I would much prefer, but I find that when analyzing my gameplay, because I like to do this stuff, that's how you become a better airsofter. Is a lot of the time I'm not looking down my scope. So when I built this gun, I was kind of like, I was so tempted. I went to the shop twice and almost bought a scope for this gun, but I got to the stage where I was like, in airsoft, as much as you can have 1,000 attachments and have your gun look mad cool, for me it's like I really don't want anything on the gun that doesn't need to be there, especially with my active playing guns. Like, you see things that's just like my show guns, then cool, fair, we can fuck about and test all these new mad bad ideas and all of that, but it's because it's not really about performance, it's more about it looking nice. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? Whereas I feel like with this, as much as I've done the sonic theme on it, none of that affects its performance, if you get what I mean. It more just gives a talking point. That's the theme of this whole loadout. I've even gone for a character as one of the keychains or as my tag on the gun, because in Call of Duty I used to always love putting tags on the gun, so I thought, you know what, fuck it, seeing as the theme of this gun is Sonic, what's wrong with chucking a little character on the back, another talking point on the field. And like I said, this is something I actually used to really like that was my little program. But yeah, I avoided getting a scope. I just feel like, don't get irrelevant shit. Do you get what I'm saying? You're number one wasting money. And I just feel like because it's CQB, often you're trying to free shoot anyway. You're trying to take your first shot, look where you're gun shooting, and then take your several other shots kind of thing. So yeah, and one thing I do like about these sites is like the back one. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get it on the cam because this is always a myth, trying to make this happen and let you guys see, but hopefully you guys can see what I'm talking about. Essentially, I've got one here and I tend to leave it down. I could turn it up kind of thing and use it in that format, but I just don't feel like I ever really do that or need that. So what I tend to do is leave it down, but what you get is like, it's almost like the Glock. You get like this back hinge, like so a left and a right, which allows you to look down the center of it, and then what you get is like this front one right here again, which I could spin up, but I just feel like all of this plastic here is very intruding in seeing my target, especially if he's directly in front of me. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? Like 10 meters, 20 meters, it's like I will miss certain things, especially if he's peeking. So I like to use it down and line it up with this two back openings. I'll look through the middle of those and line it up with the center of this one right here, because it has a little peg that goes up. So for me, that's kind of like my aim set. When I'm looking down, that's always like my central point to know where the center of my barrel is. Because some people are like, bro, how do you shoot without a scope? That's my system. I either use the two back hinges right here as my little lining, or like I said, I can look directly straight down the front of the barrel and use this center one right here, which kind of gives me an area of range to kind of like roughly scope out where I'm trying to shoot. What else have I done? I talked about the leveler. So much people will think that's so unnecessary, but you see, sometimes, again, because I have no scope, sometimes I'll be shooting from the chest, so I'm not even looking down my barrel. Now the leveler gives me the ability to level the gun's barrel to know that I'm shooting in a straight line, and more time that's not really there for gameplay, more time that's there for example, say I've taken out my hop up, or I've upgraded my barrel, or I'm trying to recenter my hop up. Things like that can be very annoying. Give me 2 seconds, because I can see a fly flying around my room and I'm like, how the hell did you get into my room? So give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm so sorry, but I hate flies. They carry bare nastiness and germs and all sorts of fuckery. So then I wind up in a nice space. You see it? But yeah, man is back. So yeah, like a lot of people, like I've come across a lot of people, especially my friends. Like I love them, I definitely love them and them, but I feel like sometimes they make my edits sound like they're so unnecessary, and for me they're useful. I only put things on a gun that I find that I've experienced and seen an opening for. Often I have to take them off. Like you've seen a few times on the channel where I've had like a sniper scope on an M4, and often a couple weeks later you no longer see it there. So again, I've tested things, and yeah, some could say, oh, they're so unnecessary, but a lot of the things end up working out and end up staying. Like for example, the G&G, I've been for 1,000 edits with this gun, but if you notice, it's in the final indoor loadout. Do you kind of get what I'm trying to say? So some things really do work out in the end. Same with the tracers. I finally got to a stage where I managed to get them to fit onto the actual barrel. So right now, this is solid. Like this is actually solid. I could hold the gun like I'm doing right now by the tracer, because I've managed to create an edit to the tracer where I basically took out the internals of another tracer, got a flash hider which wasn't a tracer, it was basically a non-functional silencer, put the bits of the tracer inside that, basically electric taped that up, ran through test, make sure that the batteries and all of that wouldn't explode on me, and was able to charge, played a few games, ran it through some water testing and stuff like that, and then now this is what I'm calling my final tracer. And to be fair, it works bloody well. Like, it has quite a few functions. It is very responsive, especially on auto, very responsive. I can set it to one setting as well, where it just does one specific color, for example, like that, or the blue, or, you know what I'm saying? My favorite setting is this one right here, because it just looks like I'm actually shooting a gun at you. Do you know what I'm saying? But which is very cool, because I've got a few commissions for people that want these, because they're solid. Like, the outside is metal. It's not like that shitty plastic one I originally showed you guys on the channel. Like, I've actually managed to build something that's usable. Like, I've used these in probably about 4 or 5 games now, and they work. I've knocked them against things and stuff like that. And sometimes you will have to edit them, because obviously we have to find a way to fit it to your nozzle, or find a nozzle that fits your nozzle and attach those things together. But often the best way to do it is we just not saw it, man, what's the right word, like fuse it together. There's this metal fuser thing that we use sometimes just to get that complete seal, rather than super gluing, because sometimes super gluing, like, it's useful, but sometimes it goes only so far, especially if you're trying to use it on an outdoor gun kind of thing. But soldering, that's the one. But what else can I show you guys? Obviously, I've got this little silly Wolverine on the top as well. A lot of people, when they see this gun, they're like, why the hell did you do that? It has no function. Again, it was just cool aesthetic. I wanted something that was like a cool, say you see something and you're like, oh, it's something that I would want to get for my son, or something I would want to build for my son. That's essentially what I was trying to build. Something that is competitive in the CQB field, because I feel like out of my friends' CQB guns, this is probably the best one in the stock. Real talk. Like, maybe Connor's G36 could keep up with this, just because it's a Gen 3 gearbox. But I feel like where his gun would fail is his gun is so heavy compared to this. Like, I can hold this comfortably with the battery in with one hand. Like, even if I was to chuck a mag in, I can hold like it with one hand comfortably. It's not heavy at all. Even mag changes, it runs near enough every single mag I've tested, like literally the mag chamber. One thing I will say about G&G, and it's kind of why I made it my indoor gun, is their mag chambers are probably the best in the game. And I say this not because it has the best construction in terms of plastic, nah, I say it because I've had this gun for about 1.5 years. Look at it. Does it look like I've had it for 1.5 years in terms of the mag chamber? Like, even if I was to take the mag out, and it's ambidextrous, that's another thing. I love it. You can do it from that side, you can do it from that side, and like I said, it runs literally every single mag I have M4 style. Like, I'm telling you, it's the only gun I've seen that. My UTR doesn't even do that. I'll show you quickly the mags that I run in my UTR. Look, no problems, sits perfectly. Oh, that was already loaded, but I didn't know that it was loaded. But do you see what I'm trying to say, guys? Like, okay, if you even want me to be cocky, I'll test the 4th mag just to be cocky and show you that it runs literally every single mag I've seen. And I'll show you what, I'll test the 5th mag. So that's 3 mags we've tested, and they're not the same, yeah? This is a 4th mag, yeah? Straight in, sits there perfectly. 5th mag, different. These are all different mags, you know, different companies, different styles, everything. Just so that nobody can say man's a part-time airsofter. Man fucking goes in with this thing, G. Slots in, fits as well. So it's what I'm saying in terms of compatibility. Like, if you ever want me to build your gun and you don't want to spend bare money looking for mags, ask me to build a G&G. That's something I've learned, because like I said, not even my UTR does that. Like 90%, well, the UTR fits maybe about 80, yeah, I'd say probably about 80% of the market, because there's about 4 or 5 mags I've come across that just won't fit. You have to probably slam it about in there, and over time you're just going to damage your hop-up unit, especially if it's a plastic one. Luckily, I've got CNC in the UTR, which I'm going to show you quick. But like, yeah, if you've got a plastic hop-up, don't buy, Well, it depends what gun you've got. That's a conversation for another day. But my point is, I love it because of its compatibility. You just see me throw 5 mags in there, and all of them are compatible. Which, if I'd done that with the UTR, as much as I love the UTR, I just don't feel like I would have the same result. I feel like 60% of the mags would work if I was to show you, because not all my mags work in the UTR. There's 2 or 3 of them that, yeah, you literally have to slam it about in there. But what can I show you? So this mag is empty, just for gun safety sake, so that my video stays up. And what else can I show you? Like, obviously, like I said, this is, you can take this off and on. It's just more there as a talking point because we're Marvel fans. Like I said, Sonic aesthetic on that side of the mag chamber, Sonic aesthetic around the grip. I didn't want to do too much on the grip because obviously it already has the wood style camo. Do you know what I'm saying? And I went with it on the barrel and the tracer unit and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? People always ask me what that red dot's for. That's so that if I ever was to put a scope in this gun, I know where it should sit, because if you notice, that's where my front or my back hard sight is. What else can I show you guys? And the cool thing, I'll show you another cool thing about this gun that people always ask about. They're like, why do you have 3 hard sights? And if you look at it, it just gives me an extra leverage that most players won't have. Like, I could use all 3 of them and they would line up perfectly, or I have the ability to drop 1 and use 2, or I have the ability to drop that one and use the front one. I just feel like it's something I haven't seen. Some people do say to me it is a bit much, and I think in some cases it is, but I feel like because there's different radiuses to gameplay, especially if I was to, because sometimes I like to take this gun outdoors, and it gives me the ability that, say somebody's 10 meters away, I have the ability to line them up with these back here. If somebody's 20 meters away, I have the ability to line them up with this central one here. And if somebody's 30 meters away, then I have the ability to line them up with the front one right there. So it's like, it really, as a game player for me, it might seem like a lot of the gun has a lot going on, but that's why it has a lot going on, because the GNG represents my first ever airsoft rifle and me playing on a serious level, and then this stage of the GNG represents me learning all the things that I've learned over the last 2 years, and saying all the things that I would be affected by on the field, let me build something that would achieve that. Let me build something that gives people a talking point. Let me build something that looks cool and gives me that childish feel, while giving me that little army wood type feel, while giving me still that black real aesthetic with a little ASSO branding and a little yeah, I'm saying Airsoft Special Ops. So again, talking points. What does that mean? Oh, that's my channel initials. Oh, why did you choose Sonic? That's my childhood kind of super guy. You know what I'm saying? Why did you choose the wood thing? Because sometimes I like to use this gun outdoors, and it just gives me the ability that where the gun's dressed up, I have the ability to still hide in the patch and light somebody's ass up. Do you get what I'm saying? Oh, why do you have the level up? Do you get what I'm saying? I've spoken about that. So yeah, like you can see, this gun has been heavily used in terms of, this is at least what, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 games. So at least 9 games. So like I said, that's how I know it's foolproof. It's why I've kind of dressed it up now. I'm like, yeah, this is something that's staying for the longevity. And then obviously it has a functional charging handle, which I just feel like is nice. And if you look at that hop up in there, one thing I love about this gun, it's the first gun I've been able to build black on black on black. So my hop up is black, my bucking is black, my gearbox is black, and my chamber unit is black. It's the first gun I've been able to do that with, and it excites me. And another good thing is, like, if you pull this far enough back, where the spring is quite a tensionate spring, it will at least sit there for a second. It's not meant to do it because this isn't functional, it's just a dummy one, but it will at least give you the ability to change your hop up quickly and then go back into it. I don't tend to change this gun because, again, like with all my guns, I tend to just like set them up, and then I know that they're ready for game day, and then maybe the day before the game I will just cycle them through, give them a quick chrono, make sure they're chronoing all right, give them a quick maybe 100 round run through, make sure my batteries are charged, and then we're good to go. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why I like to leave my guns in good condition. But yeah, what else can I show you guys? Like, I was able to put the battery in while I was talking, which shows you, do you get what I'm saying, in terms of compatibility and changeability, it's pretty easy. And my battery, because it's LiPo, they're quite small, so I can just tuck them down the buffer tube. And if you notice, because they're so small, That's why I can do this down to the first setting. So all you people that's like, oh, like 2200 milliamps, well, you enjoy a 2200 milliamps, because that's not gonna fit in your buffer tube. You're gonna have to get these bigger stocks that don't allow you to do what I'm doing. So balls in your court. What else? I always keep my charger for the flashlight, because obviously, like I said, it's such a functional thing even for outdoor use. So I just like to have it just in case it dies on me at any point. I have a barrel clearer just to clean my barrel or unblock my barrel if I ever get any damages. What else do I roll with? There's a few things I roll with. Like, I roll with extra bucking. I roll with the screws for my old scope, or if I need to adjust things like my outer barrel, because sometimes my outer rail comes loose, so I have that. Plus I keep this because sometimes I use it to adjust the flashlight, because round the fitting of the flashlight is Allen keys. What else is in here? Obviously keep a spare battery. It's nice to have at least 2200 milliamps with me anytime I roll. I used to only have one, then I'd be stressed at lunchtime trying to charge batteries. Yeah, I think that's it for this. So I'm gonna let you hear how it sounds. It's not loaded for gun safety, so semi sounds something like this, and even a click. Like, I feel like since I put the new gearbox in it, the gun flows, like that switch flows a lot more better. I feel like with the G&G one, it was a nice gearbox, don't get me wrong, for what it was, but I just feel like the gun feels a lot more nicer now. Even the grip, I changed the grip out for the LT35 grip. I just feel like the gun feels more heavy duty. The grip on the original Radar, it just felt too slick. Like, the gun could slide out your hand if you move too quick. I don't like that feeling. Like, I want to feel the ability that I can tuck a corner and do all these quick movements and I'm alright. The gun is gripped, whereas I felt like with the other one there was times like it would slip out my hand, and that used to annoy me. Whereas I feel like with this, as much as I've got aesthetic on it, you just saw the movement. I'm moving quick, like it's a quick movement. I can go around a corner, switch up on him, and you know what I'm trying to say? I just feel like, yeah, man, you just have to see. When I get the scope cam, you will see, because then you will see the shots and you'll see what I'm saying. I can run with it, dive. Like, the only one thing that I'm trying to avoid doing to the gun where I can move around so much is run and jump on the floor, because there was a day I did that with the G36 and I almost broke that gun. I literally almost broke that gun. So I'm starting to learn only do the diving shit with pistols. But yeah, let me let you hear how it sounds on semi. So on semi, and for a mechanical gearbox, obviously if you start spamming that trigger, you're gonna obviously have damages, because, well, not damages, but you're gonna have, you know, sometimes where you feel like the nozzle hasn't fully made it back, you're gonna have that, because what you're doing is you're forcing the mechanics to work faster than they actually work. With stuff like that, what I'd have to probably do is get a more high speed torque motor, motor, because you have speed and then you have torque. With this motor, what I went for is more torque, because for me, again, CQB, as much as CQB is fast, because I shoot a light BB weight, I use 2.5s in this gun. So it's like, for me, I like the ability, because I know the BB is going to get there fairly fast anyway, I like the ability to take my time, shot. Do you get what I'm saying? And if you notice, the gun can keep up with that kind of gameplay. Shot. It gives me a chance to take my first shot, line him up again, take that second shot. It's why I don't mind the fact that it operates how it does. And if you're operating on a full charge battery, it will shoot a bit faster than this. This is because this battery is not full, if you get what I mean. I probably shot about 4 mags, about 4 full mags out of this the other day. So I probably should have charged the battery before I did this, but I still feel like it sounds alright. Plus, because I put the 110 spring in there, the gearbox is forced to work a bit more harder, which is why I always say, take your shot, pause, don't fucking break your gun just because you're trying to look cool on the field. Pause. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because where it's under more tension, give the gearbox a chance for that nozzle and that spring to make it back. Because remember, you've got that not nozzle, you've got that thing, that tube in there going back, so give it a chance to do its full cycle and come back. It's why I like to take that pause even in fast gameplay. Like, what I'd rather do is shot, duck. Do you know what I'm trying to say? If I can't, if say it's not like an auto day, that's why I like to play with that, because it's a mechanical gearbox. If I play like that and I don't like it, and it's kind of why I built this gun mechanical, is because indoors I found that the problem is when I had something that I could spam the trigger, I would just spam the trigger, and that doesn't make for a good indoors play. It makes for kind of like a cheating player, because you're just sitting there spamming the trigger like you're basically a camper. I like the ability that, because I know my gun has its issues.
I'm sure I understand.
Me not ask you to do nothing, Siri. Because I know my gun will have its issues, what I've done is it's almost like I adjust my gameplay to work with my gun. And some would say, oh, why don't you just buy a electric trigger unit? Because you will not become a better fucking player. I'm telling you. You see, one thing I love about the UTR, and when I get there I'll show you the facts and fiction of these things. It's like, one thing I love about the UTR is you could show up lazy as fuck and still dominate the field. The thing I like about this is you cannot do that. You see, if I show up lazy as fuck, I'm gonna get dominated with this gun. But I like that because the gun is so good that you're competitive, but you have to play good for you to be competitive with this gun. It's giving you the solutions, the flash, the tracer, a reliable
actions. Ish I had to do. If we unified, we overcome slavery. Many think it, I just say it, call it bravery. Young, progressive and black, you know they hate to see independent. I don't care what labels could pay a G. So much leng past my lung. Private company feeding us GMO foods, they wanting us trapped. My young boy just came home for a booting, that young nigga tapped. Can't be slipping when I'm puffing on a potent, silent but I stay strapped. Gave her wood, now she talking about family tree, you know it ain't that. Ain't got time for the bad bees, dog, I got money on mine. Watch my chain too long, have me nervous, I put money on your mind. The Cali be potent, that girl is a bogus, I can't risk my seed. My heart too low, took L's like fug. Big slime soon free. Had to drop cause the fans they keep asking. You drop trash, had the fans all laughing. Disappeared and I